Hi there, Joel from Jonesy's, and today we're going to give you guys an update on our diesel conversion in our Suburban. Show you some of the install details about some gauges, transmission controller, as well as our plan for our accessories. Stay tuned for that video next. So as you guys saw from our last video, we got the engine set in place. Our conversion motor mounts that we sell through the Adventure Vehicle websites, they bolt right in. Everything is good to go. We have also swapped over to a throttle cable. This Suburban being a 6.5, it actually had drive-by wire. So we swapped it over to the gas version to a cable, and then we'll go ahead and adapt that over to our VE pump. So we're kind of right in the middle of this swap. We got all of the wiring. We still need to deal with the original wiring that needs to be terminated so we can have our gauges. Also, we are in the middle of coming up with a good solution for how to hook up the air conditioning. Now, this one being a rear air unit, in a Suburban, it gets a little complicated because everything has to be teed off, and it's not a standard two-line hookup. So we have to. I'm spending a lot of time trying to get an accessory bracket dialed in so that everything works extremely well without having to do any kind of a body lift. That has proven to be a little bit more difficult. The bracketry that I used on the Suburban project works really well, but I wanted to try to get something a little bit cleaner and utilize a little bit more of some factory available parts. The other thing that I'm also considering is this manifold placement for the turbo. It works. It's not ideal, so I'm contemplating swapping out the exhaust manifold and try to relocate that turbo back and tighter, a little bit tighter to the engine, so that we have a little bit better clearance around all of our air conditioning. Again, not required, but this conversion, I'm trying to make it as seamless and as stock appearance as possible, and having that turbo tucked a little bit tighter in might make things a little bit cleaner. So let's go into the inside, and we'll show you guys exactly what we've done. And we've tackled our gauge installation. So we've got our factory matched pod gauges there. We've installed the tranny temp, exhaust, as well as the boost gauge that mimics our original style. Also, we're going to wire in the grid heat. Had some custom switch panel made for the grid heat, so that'll just be a momentary that we will mount in the dash, kind of right in there, so that it appears to be a stock installation. Now, the other thing that we did a little bit differently on this build versus the Suburban and previous builds is I went ahead and I mounted the transmission controller inside the center console and used a standalone wiring harness. The Suburban project, I utilized the original wiring harness, and I realized that for all the do-it-yourselfers, that's not an easy install. So this setup, we're using a standalone harness. Tried to leave the factory original GM harness kind of untouched, so that all of the diesel conversion stuff kind of stands on its own. So that pretty much sums up where we're at right now. We're kind of in limbo. We need to make some decisions on some accessory drives, alternator, AC compressor, things like that, so that it's a nice clean install and utilize some factory parts. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, send me some emails if you have any questions, and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks for watching.